She stood on the iron deck of a quiet cargo bay, an alien girl with fox ears and a soft tail. Rain drifted through the open shield like silver threads. It was the edge ring of an old station above a blue world. She hugged her tail like a child holding a pillow at night. She prayed the human remembered her. Her name was Aria. Her voice was small and gentle. She waited for a ship that carried a woman named Lily. Lily had promised to return when the moons crossed in the same line the moons had crossed, and gone Aria kept waiting. Aria had met Lily on a salt planet in a dry valley. The wind there cut like glass. A caravan needed water and hope. Aria had fallen from a ridge while searching for her cousins. Her leg was hurt, and she limped behind the group. Traders laughed and moved on. Lily did not laugh. Lily stopped and gave her water. Lily spoke in soft words that felt like a warm blanket. Aria felt seen for the first time. They built a shelter with canvas and old hull plates at night. Lily showed Aria how to map stars. She taught her how to make a small radio from scrap. She told stories about a far home under green trees, a home where people still sang at night after work. Aria listened and hugged her tail and felt safe one morning. A signal flared across the sky, a beacon from a fallen shuttle. A message called for help. Lily said someone might be alive. They must try. Aria feared the storm but followed. They found a pilot breathing shallow air tubes, broken and suit leaking. Lily sealed the suit with resin and mesh. She carried the pilot across the ridge while Aria guided through dust. The pilot was from a human relief ship. She said the crew needed parts before the sand buried them. Lily asked Aria to stay in the shelter. Aria said she would go with her. Lily squeezed her hand and smiled. Then Lily ran toward the crash field with a promise to return by dawn. Dawn came and went. Aria waited 3 days. A convoy of slavers rolled across the valley. They saw an alien child. With fox ears and bright eyes, they tried to seize her. Aria ran and hid inside a rusted hull. She heard shouting and boots and engines fade. She kept waiting for Lily. No one came. Weeks later, a small drone found Aria. The pilot had lived. The relief ship had flown. Lily had stayed behind to hold a line of defense for the wounded after the battle. The ship jumped away in chaos. Lily was listed missing. Aria read the report and held the screen until it went dark. She hugged her tail and promised she would find the station named Harbor of Dawn. That was where the relief crew had regrouped. She would go there and wait. Now Aria stood in the cargo bay of that station. Her ears tilted for steps and voices. She worked with a salvage team by day. She fixed vents and learned the human way of tools. She ate noodles at a small stall with a woman named Claire. Liked to talk about small things like plants and music. Aria liked to listen because small things felt big in her heart. Every night Aria visited a quiet chapel window that looked over the planet. She pressed her hands to the glass and breathed slow. She remembered how Lily laughed when sparks flew from a broken coil. She remembered how Lily called her brave for building. A radio from trash Aria was not sure she was brave now. She was only patient. She whispered a prayer in simple words. Please let Lily remember me. Please guide her steps to this place. Please keep the path open. A rumor spread across the station. A new ship had docked with old relief colors on the hull. Engineers moved through the corridor with tool bags. Aria felt her chest rise with hope. She ran and then stopped and forced herself to walk. She passed workers in crates and floating dust. The docking tunnel opened like a throat of light. Crew walked out in tired lines. Aria searched faces for a woman with brown hair and kind eyes. She saw Megan from the relief list. She saw Paige, who once sent the drone to the valley. She did not see Lily. Megan recognized Aria and ran to her. She cried and held her like a lost sister. She said Lily had saved 5 people at the crash field. She said Lily had gone back for a 6th and then vanished behind fire. They never found the body, Aria felt. The station tilt under her feet. She thanked Megan and walked away into the noise of the market. She sat by a rail and watched loading lights blink. She told herself to breathe. She told herself to wait one more day. That night, the chapel window showed. A storm over the sea. Lightning crawled in slow branches. Aria stood with a janitor named Nora. Nora had kind hands and a steady step. Nora said, "Faith is not a map. Faith is a lantern. You carry it until the way appears." Aria nodded and held the lantern. Of her heart in the morning, a security alert sounded. A small shuttle requested emergency docking. The voice on the line was weak and broken by static area. Felt her ears lift at the tone. It was not a voice she knew, but something in it felt like a path. She went to the bay with a crate of med foam and wraps. The shuttle door opened. Smoke rolled out. A woman stumbled forward with a bandage across her head. Her hair was shorter than before. Her face was thin. Her eyes were the same Arya knew. Those eyes. Lily saw a small figure with fox ears and a trembling tail. She reached for her and nearly fell. Arya caught her with both arms and held on. She wanted to speak 100 words. She could not find even one. Her heart beat like a drum. She hugged her tail and pressed her cheek to Lily and cried. They sat on the deck while med techs checked signals. Lily said the crash field had taken her to a cave of iron and glass. She had lived there with wreck ghosts and rain for a long time. She fixed an old beacon with pieces and sent a signal in slow pulses. She never stopped looking at the stars and thinking of a girl with fox ears. Every night she whispered a promise to return. The beacon had caught a passing surveyor. The surveyor had not known the relief code. They brought her here by chance and need. Lily smiled a small tired smile and said, "Chance is a thin word for a strong bond." Arya told Lily about the market noodles and the chapel window. She told her about Claire and Nora, and Megan and Paige. She told her about the way the planet looked when storms rolled. She said she prayed every day. Lily said the prayer found her in the cave. It sounded like rain on a metal roof. It sounded like hope. Word of their meeting moved. Through the station like a warm wind, dock workers brought tea and blankets. A musician named Zoe came and played a soft tune on a small steel string. Megan laughed and wiped her eyes. Paige told the story of the rescue again and again. Claire brought noodles with real herbs and said, "This is on the house." Nora mopped quietly and hummed. Everyone seemed lighter. The station felt like a town square under bright lamps. Lily slept in the med bay for 2 days. Arya sat beside her and adjusted the monitors. Like they were toy birds, she learned the rhythm of healing like a new song. She learned when to feed and when to let silence do the work. When Lily woke, she asked to see the chapel window. They walked slowly down the corridor together. Arya kept one hand on Lily in case the floor tried to tilt again. The planet turned under them like a slow dance. Clouds swept across blue water. Ships were tiny sparks. Arya told Lily about a new plan. They would help the relief fleet rebuild safe beacons. Along the trade routes, they would teach stranded crews how to make radios from scrap. They would share simple tools and strong patience. They would go back to the salt planet and leave water drums for travelers. Lily listened and smiled. She said, "That is a human thing to do." Arya said, "It is a fox thing to do." Also, Lily said, "Then it is our thing to do." They began at the cargo bay where they first embraced Lily. Showed Arya how to solder a clean seam. Arya showed Lily how to hear a weak signal. Through noise together, they wrote small guides with plain words and clear drawings. They carried lanterns of faith into dusty places. They built and taught and listened. They watched strangers become neighbors. They watched fear become skill. They watched silence become song. Some nights Arya still hugged her tail and prayed not for a return now, but for courage to keep the promise of kindness, for a steady hand when storms came, for a heart that chooses patience again. She prayed for all who waited in lonely places. She prayed that someone like Lily would find them. She prayed that someone like Arya would be there to meet them. On the day the fleet raised a new network of beacons, the station threw a small festival. Zoe played and people danced. Nora smiled and leaned on her mop. Claire cooked noodles until the pots were empty. Megan and Paige told stories. Lily stood beside Arya on the rail. They watched ships move like bright seeds across the sky. Arya rested her head on Lily and closed her eyes. She remembered the dry valley and the metal cave. She remembered the cold nights and the warm tea. She remembered the first touch of trust. She understood the shape of human will. It was not loud. It was not proud. It was a steady hand, held out across a gap. It was a lantern carried through wind area. Held that lantern with Lily, and in that light she felt whole,